Well, hello there, and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff, and 'tis the season. Wait, no, it's not Thanksgiving yet. Can't do that. I don't want to be that guy, so turkeys and leaves and cut out construction paper turkeys with your hands drawn. Does anyone still do that? I don't know if anyone still does that. Maybe we should do that for a video. Thanksgiving with Fluff. That's a good idea. No, it's not a good idea. First question! What would you recommend to someone looking to add preamps and channel strips to their home studio? Oh man, that well is deep, my friend. I originally started out, like the first piece of outboard gear I ever bought was a PreSonus channel strip, and it didn't really do much. Like the EQ was cool, but like it's a tube and it has a single 12AX7. It doesn't do anything. There's like a little LED under it to make it look like it's lit up. Like, don't waste your money on that kind of stuff. Don't waste your money on like the $200 or $300 channel strips. If you actually want a legit, usable, and good sounding channel strip, you know, give yourself a budget of like $1,000 or something like that. And if you can do more, all the better. You did not mention a budget, so I'm gonna assume you're kind of somewhere in the middle. You don't want to spend a crazy amount of money, but you also don't really have to cheap out. You get, you know, an Art MPA 2 or something like that. So I would say something from like, you know, Aphex is really, really good. A Vintech preamp or channel strip. You know, API makes the channel strip, but that's like $2,800. Rupert Neve Designs. You know what? Call Sweetwater and just tell them what your needs are, and they can probably steer you in the right directions, because it's kind of hard for me to judge exactly what would be best for you because I don't have any information about you. But I would just say don't cheap out on the mega cheap stuff, because it doesn't really do anything. And just get something better quality, spring for it once, as opposed to buying the cheaper stuff multiple times to figure out that you actually do want to get the more expensive stuff. Yeah, I just saved you a bunch of time. You're welcome. Any advice for someone who wants to get a cranked amp sound out of a 2-Notes Torpedo Live? Yes, I would say make your own cabinet impulse specifically for your own use. And what I mean by that is, you know, mic up a cab or pay someone or pay a studio to make an IR of your cab and get it sounding good. And that way you can actually shoot an impulse and some multiple mics and even get like a little bit of a room mic sound in there. I will also add that a few updates ago, Torpedo Live, the Torpedo Live now has reverbs, like really, really good reverbs in the unit itself. So I would definitely play with those if you already have an IR that you really, really like. Getting that room sound can be tricky with IRs, but definitely utilize the different kinds of reverbs that are now available on the Torpedo Live. What are ways you've kept yourself financially stable while doing music full time? Without going into too many specifics, diversification is key. And, you know, a lot of the times I just barely make it month to month, man. I'll be honest with you guys. But I do still make it, and that's the point. And it's just a slow build, and it just gets better and better over a long period of time. I've been doing this for 2 years full time, and I am just now getting to the point where, you know, I can afford to upgrade the daughter's iPhone or my iPhone, and, you know, little things like that, because I'm no longer worrying about paying the utility bill or making the mortgage payment or something like that. So it's a slow transition, but I would say diversify. If you're visible and if you have a YouTube channel, look into merch. There's, you know, merch can be very, very lucrative if you have the numbers to back it up and get the sales needed to really make some good money at merch. You know, I do stuff like, I go to the LA Amp show for Hughes and Kettner. You know, I didn't do that for free, obviously. You know, why would you? Your time is valuable, so make sure you are charging companies for things if you're gonna make an appearance or something like that. There's always avenues, but the key is to diversify where you can, and that way you're not relying on any single one thing financially speaking, so if something does go away, you still have several backups, if not more, ideally. Tips on how to be more active and have a better stage presence when performing live? That's a tough one. I would definitely say be in a band with younger guys than you. My band are pretty active, and it's always kind of a competition to see who can move more, and Tony always wins that competition. But then again, I'm old, I'm a dad, and I just make sure we sound good. I've never been too concerned about, I gotta practice my stage moves, bro. But from the audience's perspective, it is cool when a band aren't statues. So you have to find a medium. You have to be able to play well as well. Now, if Tony were here, Tony would argue that looking cool is much, much, much more important than actually playing the songs well, whereas I am the opposite. Songs are the priority, so I guess maybe that's why I play my parts better than he does. Just kidding, love you, Tony. But seriously, in all seriousness, just learn the songs really, really well. And I don't mean like, oh, I know what's next, you know, the bridge is next or a chorus is next. I mean, you need to be not looking at your guitar the whole song. You need to be able to play that song without even looking at it and get comfortable with being on the stage and in that kind of a setting, because it's totally different at practice. And when you are at practice, set the band up as if you were on stage. Don't face each other. Set up like a stage plot, and that will also help you get into the kind of performance frame of mind. But other than that, it's just practicing moving around and bobbing your head and just kind of coordinating physically what you're going to do ahead of time, as far as like, okay, I'm gonna make the slide here, and then I'm gonna do a sweet punk rock jump or something like that. Just finding opportunities within the song, and you get the hang of it. Just lots of practice and lots of looking stupid first, I suppose. And now, Fluff reads a tweet. I just want to watch Flex tape infomercials all day. My suggestion to you this week is another Netflix original, Mindhunters. Mindhunters has been blowing my mind. I just finished it. Don't worry, there's not gonna be any spoilers, but it's from David Fincher, and it's also all completely edited in Adobe Premiere, which is what I use to edit these videos. And I just think that kind of stuff is really, really cool. But aside from that, Mindhunters is just an amazing, amazing dramatized version of true stories of the FBI's early days in profiling and criminal profiling of serial killers and the like. And it's just a brilliantly, brilliantly done show. One of my favorites I've ever seen. It's so damn good, and I think you guys would enjoy it as well. All applicable links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.